Hi, Ryan. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So have you had counseling before?
I never have.
Okay, let me take a little bit of time then to explain to you what you can expect from counseling and your and I's interactions and sessions together.
Okay.
So first and foremost, I want you to know that counseling is about you, the individual, and what you're wanting to gain from talking to me and opening up and expressing some ideas and maybe even frustrations that you have going on in your life. And we're going to process those together. So keep in mind that sometimes in counseling, we bring up some past or even present experiences that bring out of a lot of emotion in us and may cause us to feel some things that we haven't for a while felt or dealt with. And in those situations, it may seem like things are getting worse, but trust the process and know that throughout our meetings, hopefully those situations will become easier to think about and talk about, and we can work through those together. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about was the camera here in the room with us today. And you may be wondering why it's here. And the reason for that is because I'm a student at NNU, and I'm in a graduate program for counseling. I've completed most of the coursework for that program. And right now I'm trying to obtain hours towards my licensure. And to do that, I have to record some of the sessions I have with clients and submit them to my professors and faculty who are licensed counselors at NNU. What they do with these videos is they look at them and give me feedback to explain to me how I can be a better counselor. They'll critique them, but the critique is coming towards me, not towards you. So just keep in mind that they aren't looking at anything you're saying or analyzing anything about you. It's really just to help me gain the skills I need to be the best counselor possible. That makes sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, great. Now we're just going to talk a little bit about the confidentiality that goes along with the counselor and client relationship. I want you at all times to feel that this is a safe and secure place, that anything you share with me will be kept in this room and won't be shared with anybody outside of the counseling session with you and I. However, there are a few instances where confidentiality does have some limits. And for example, if you were to share with me that a child or vulnerable adult in your life was being abused or potentially you were abusing that individual, it would be my responsibility to ensure the safety of that individual. So I would have to take necessary action to do that. Along the same lines, you and I will have a strong relationship here in counseling, and I will want to ensure your safety. So if you were ever to express to me that you plan to take your own life and had maybe thoughts or actions planned to do so, that would be another situation where I would intervene to ensure your safety. Now keep in mind that if you were to explain to me that you were having a rough day and the thought crossed your mind where maybe the world would be a better place without you, I would know the difference between that and an actual plan to take your life. So that's something that I'll be aware of, and I'll keep that in mind. And then as well with harming yourself, if you were to ever explain to me that you had plans to take another's life or to harm another, I would also take the steps needed to ensure that individual's safety. Okay. The final situation where there is a limit to confidentiality is if you were ever involved in a litigation and it was requested from me to submit information from our counseling sessions, it may be necessary for me to do that. Those situations are very, very far and few in between, and I would, of course, always discuss those situations with you before submitting any of your information that you shared with me here today. Okay. Does everything that I've talked about so far make sense, and are you comfortable with that?
I am, yes.
Okay, great. I think now we can get started if you're ready to. Is there anything that you have on your mind in particular that you'd like to discuss?
Actually, yeah, it's kind of funny that actually came back this weekend. Particularly for schoolwork, but got a call in the middle of the week that there was a gal in our church that had passed away, and it was actually quite suddenly, and it's kind of funny because you get to thinking about your relationship with some of these people, and you get to thinking about what happens as we grow older, and so it's been kind of interesting. It was a real process. This gal was real involved in our church. She went to church every day. She went and all the activities and all of the fundraisers and all of those things. She was always there. As we get older, we get a little bit more. We get a little set in our ways, and so as she got a little older, she started to rub people the wrong way.
Tell me more about that.
And one of the interesting things that she would do was, we'd have some fundraisers, and a lot of the ladies would bring in pies, and she'd find one that she liked, and she'd kind of squirrel it away, and so people would get upset about that, but I think about the thought that came to my mind is that she spent so much time giving into the church. Really, is it that big a deal? And then but more so, her husband and I have butted heads a few times, and we've not seen eye to eye, and have really we've got toe to toe a few times.
Tell me about that.
Well, there he was responsible for getting me to join the Knights of Columbus, but some of the old guys were kind of set in their ways, and of course they complain a lot about the young guys not wanting to join and not wanting to participate and not wanting to. And my take on that was more, well, it's because the old guys are all set in their ways and they don't want to try anything different. We've always done it this way, and if it was good enough for us, it ought to be good enough for everybody else. And but the interesting thing today is we're sitting at the funeral, and they're talking about all of the things that this gal and her husband had done in their lives. That they were responsible for starting the Mini Casual Search and Rescue. They taught hunter safety to kids for years and years. They had a junior rifle club, and just really active. And not only that, in the church, but the community and several different areas. And it caused me to think. One is like, well, it made me feel bad because he and I butted heads so much. It's like, and so it caused me to think. As I get older, I don't want to be like that. I hope that I don't become that person that the younger guys complain about.
Tell me more about that.
Well, that I don't want to be so set in my ways that I don't invite other opinions and other people to come in, and so it actually caused me to reflect a little bit about maybe some times in the recent past that I was a little stubborn, and I was a little closed and not open to listening to somebody else's opinion, and listening to somebody had a little different idea than I did, and so it kind of caused me to want to be a little more cognizant to that, and say. Just because I'm getting old doesn't mean I have to be closed-minded. Okay. And so that and it made me feel a little bit, listening to that today, I kind of thought, I need to go back and try to reconcile with him and try to set things up, because now that I understand more about what the cause is and what's happening and what is, and that.
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, yeah, I mean about just the fact that he's getting older. He's been sick a lot lately, and maybe starting to suffer from early onset dementia.
Okay.
And so he was saying, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And so maybe I gotta, I'm looking back, some of the things that we argued over, or some of the things that we had trouble, could very well have been beyond his control. That it was something that he because as when we find ourselves in troubled spots like that, then we go to our safe place. We go to the thing that we know is the easiest. And
tell me about that.
Well, that he I think he's been realizing that he's not the spring chicken that he used to be, and so because he wasn't as willing to, or he wasn't as willing to adapt and be flexible because he didn't feel safe, or that he didn't feel secure, or that it was something that his life or his was in turmoil, that he'd been in charge, he'd been a leader, he'd done a lot of things for a lot of years, but now he has a certain lack of control, and there are things happening that are beyond his control, and so he kind of draws in to in order to so he can feel like he's still in control.
Okay.
So I guess I need to be a little more understanding of that, and a little more open to that's what's driving this, and probably not make such a big deal out of some of the things that we kind of battled over, and so it wasn't, and make it well, I guess just to reconcile, it's hard. After sitting through that today, it's hard not to like the guy, because giving that look back and at what he's done throughout his life, and it's, the things that we kind of battled over are pretty trivial compared to all the good that's been done. And we need to, we kind of need to be, we need to realize that people in our lives get older, and that and to remember the good things, and not so much where they're at, and be a little more forgiving today. So, and the things that go back and remember all the good that was done, and let some of the other stuff kind of slide.
Yeah.
So, but so that was the big thing that thought about today, and really it was a good experience. It was kind of thrown in the middle of the weekend, and I had so many other things to do on those, but it was kind of funny that it was it's the thing that I needed to do, that was.
Tell me about that.
So, well, there's been so many things that I'm kind of through the honeymoon phase in my job, and so the honeymoon's over and the job's picking up pace. There's been a lot of different things kind of getting thrown my direction, and so you gotta be on your game, and there's a lot of people, with needs that are wanting to pull you different directions
Mhm.
and pull you different ways, and some days, it gets to be a little overwhelming, but, so it was good today to come back and see, that, when you have a sense of purpose, when you have a direction, and that you wanna do good, and you wanna be effective, you wanna make a difference, that having that purpose and having that focus, really helps.
Yeah.
And so it makes the stress, it makes the hectic pace, a little more worthwhile, because, I guess in some ways thinking thinking about someday I want somebody to say nice things, when I'm the guy in the box in the front, that somebody else is gonna stand up there and say nice things.
Yeah.
Things like that, and so you start to think about, what have I done in my life, what have, where, so, and I guess would they say nice things about you, and so so that's always, to me, that was a good pause for reflection,
Mhm.
and a pause for refocus, and to say this, I really like what I'm doing,
Mhm.
and that I think I am making a difference. I think that things are changing, and and especially when,
Will you tell me more about that?
tell me more about what I do is I do, I work with, kids that are, I work with, tough behavior kids,
Mhm.
and, both in the, regular education environment and the special education environment, that when they've gone through a process where, the general education teachers and the school psychs, have kind of run their course and trying to correct their behavior, then we do go in and we get to work with them,
I see.
to see if we can't, help them overcome some of their problems, and help them, adjust some of their behaviors, and then get them back into a, regular environment, so that we can get them, well, they call it in least restrictive environment, and although some of it you have to make the tough call, that they need to go to a more restrictive environment, or that, for some of them, that school may not be the best place. They may have to, refer them out to a treatment center, or some of those to deal with some of those behaviors. But kind of the bottom line is that it makes you feel that, what we're doing now hopefully will make a difference in the long run.
Yeah.
Will make it better so that they can eventually, come to well, they can get an education, they can get a job, they can be self-supporting, those things, and I guess that's what we really try to, or that is hopefully, we can help them get their behaviors out of the way,
Mhm.
so that they can meet their own needs and do their own thing, so.
Well, Brian, I think you've shared a lot of great stuff with me today, and I'm looking forward in the coming weeks to talking more about the things you brought up today. So I think we'll call it good for today, but we'll plan to see each other next week.
Okay,
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Brian.
Thank you.